All right. Welcome to Pine Grove News Live. 6 o'clock, right in the dot. Sorry, I was a minute late, so I cut that last song before it's time. Yep, 6 o'clock here on the East Coast, and gotten through the first day of all this snow, supposedly. Yeah, I'd say supposedly. We probably got, I don't know, it was probably 6 to 8 inches before the sleet, freezing rain came, or the rain, because I didn't really notice any of it freezing. And then periodic, snow flakes here and there. Hey, Ann, how you doing? Hope everything's all right. We're doing okay here. We haven't been snowed out, snowed in, so apparently the storm is not over, I guess, until 7 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday. This is Monday right now. Start of the new week. Joy, joy. So, yeah, it's not, they said by the time it's all done, probably anywhere 10, 11 inches of snow, but I mean, the roads are all cleaned up. We've got snow on the ground, and it's not any kind of an Armageddon or bomb cyclone. I'm sorry. This is typical, maybe a little. No, we've actually, you think about it, we've had plenty of storms in December before. We've had storms even, before Thanksgiving. So, whatever. I mean, I don't know, the people, whoever it is, whether they're getting, instructions from somebody else to just really blow things out of proportion. Now, I know the Midwest got hammered, and I know a lot of the places that, got hammered as well with this storm. It is one for the records, but I'm just speaking for the East Coast here in Southern Connecticut, and just another day. Just another day. Of course, like usual, though. I mean, I did get the bottom of the driveway done where the plow came by with my snowblower that I bought used about 4 years ago. Had it repaired, or at least I thought I had it repaired, or at least maintained in the fall. And at least it got the bottom of the driveway before it stopped turning. Engine runs, but the blade that picks up the snow just didn't turn anymore. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is that it worked for what I needed it for, and we'll worry about the next one when it comes. That's all I can say. Now I might have to save up some money if I can do that to get another one or get the repairs done, or call them up and say, well, how come it only lasted once? Anyway, my problems. So I went through the news. There's plenty of news. You can get news, any kind of news you want, anytime you want it. Of course, I'm trying to find a path, to prophecy. And I know there's some things that have nothing to do with prophecy that I have tonight. And I'm still trying to understand it. So while I get understanding of that, and you as well, we're all learning. We're just learning. We'll all know when we get raptured, everything, won't we? At once, we'll know it. And then it really won't matter. We won't care. No. The only thing that we'll be caring about or putting our hearts and souls to is worshiping God in heaven and checking out paradise. Yeah, we talked about paradise again over the weekend briefly. Went into chapters 15 through whatever. We got pretty far. Yeah, about what paradise, what conditions were actually in paradise. I mean, conditions enough to where you didn't need the sun or the moon. They didn't need those those things back then because the presence of God was in the Garden of Eden and they didn't need the sun and the moon. You know, they were more like, you know, angels and flesh from the earth. You know, they were created. They had just a different countenance altogether. They were able to see in the heaven. They were able to pray with angels to God, and then they let themselves be deceived, or at least Eve did. And Adam just out and out ate the apple of the tree, or whatever you want to call it. It's not the apple like everyone thinks. It's just I don't know what form it took. Who knows? You know, all I know is they ate from it after one commandment, right? And what do we have? 10? Do we have 10 commandments, or do we have 2? Maybe we have 12, because we're not erasing the original 10 commandments. No, we're still following them, but we're just not held to them because of our sin nature. And then, you know, Jesus gave us at least 2, right? Was it 2 that he gave us, Jesus, or was it just the 1? I mean, 1 that basically sums it all up. You know, love each other. Period. If we could get to do that, nothing else will matter. You know, everything else will correct itself. Certainly something to think about, right? All right, let's get on with this. I can find out where everything starts. I was thinking about sharing this link. You know, I'm going to read it. I read part of it already. But I've heard so many people talk about the theories, or the revelation, the wormwood. You know about the wormwood, that bitter whatever it is? You know, some people claim that it's a comet or a meteorite come down, and it doesn't. Anyway, different opinions. That doesn't exactly tell us, except that it poisons 1/3 of the fresh water, right? And people die from that because it's made bitter. It's poisoned. Too bad we didn't have the Ark of the Covenant to get out the staff with the button, whatever it was on that made that other water sweet again. Anyway, I'll leave that link for you. It's 3 theories for what Revelation's wormwood judgment could really be. Just interesting to know what it could be. I mean, with a lot of things that go on in Revelation, I would definitely say I'm talking about the angels. With the angels that are involved in Revelation, man, I mean, you're talking about heaven, you're talking about Jesus standing there and the mints, you know, as he opened the seals. Nobody else was able to open them. But all these seals, all these trumpets, all these bowls, and everything else that's going on, 4 winds of the 4 angels holding back the 4 winds. I mean, there's a lot of angels involved. It is just teeming with angels everywhere in Revelation. And if you read the the Old Testament, not the new one. The new is the Gospel. The old is the Old Testament. There are a lot of angels in that one as well. It's very interesting. And most of it is basically the Lord Jesus come in, you know, as an angel, as a messenger. It's very interesting. I liked reading the stories of the Old Testament. A lot of history there, a lot of things to learn. Even the book of Adam and Eve, you know, even, you know, if it may not be or if it is, blessed by God in order to be out there and learn these things, even though it was an oracle, a book that, it's like a story that was passed down. Even if, a good percentage of it is untrue or manipulated or changed, I think the basics storyline is pretty awesome. Yeah, kind of lost track there. Thoughts went elsewhere. So let's get going with the rest of the news. This is from Strange Sounds. It's snowing on the first day of summer in Australia. Up to 1 foot of fresh snow. So it's the first week of summer, and rather than sunshine and heat, yep, I think it's snowing in a lot of places. Many parts of Victoria. Let's see, Victorian Alps, Falls Creek and Hotman Alpine Resort in Victoria, and Parishioner Ski Resort in New South Wales. All significant dumps of snow this morning. 9 and 4 inches. Anyways, I've heard that there was snow again in the desert somewhere too. Oh, I wanted to open up this feed, bro. I wanted to bring you to, I think it's this one up here. I don't know, I can't remember the name. Anyway, maybe that's not it. Well, down here, this is all the stories that I gotta flip through, through my feed, bro, on the left-hand side. Hold on a second. I want to go see if we're live on YouTube. Appear to be, so that's good news. Okay, so I just want to make sure I can know it's up and monitor it. Snow engulfs high desert area of Antelope Valley in California. Just saw where there's snow in the desert. Where was that? High desert area. Yeah, Typhoon Kamura. All these things that happen today. Astronomers' Milky Way magnetic field. We're going to take a look at that too. San Francisco ties century-old record for the coldest November day as North Bay freezes. California. Yeah, so avalanches, monsoon, the wettest in 25 years. You got other stories. 171% excess rain in October, heaviest in 40 years. I mean, we're hearing about, these storms that rarely, they happen, but it's not every year a thing, So, all right, just wanted to show you that. And here we go. This is the one I was just talking about. Astronomers map the Milky Way's magnetic field. I mean, not that it's prophetic, but I mean, it's just, makes me just sit here in awe of some of these things that they're able to do. They can map the Milky Way. You know how insignificant we are in this Milky Way that we live in? This galaxy. It's just one galaxy of billions of galaxies. And we're, one solar system in the Milky Way, probably of millions or billions of those as well. How they can do that, how man and their technology can unveil this stuff. Makes you wonder about that, eh? What kind of help are they getting? I mean, we could do these things. We can, send spaceships to Saturn and basically, most of our planets that we have in our solar system and their moons, and take pictures and do other diagnostics, supposedly. That's what they tell you anyway. And yet we can't shelter the homeless. We can't feed the hungry. And we just ignore the poor. Something going on there. End time headlines. The oldest person dies. America's oldest person, anyway, dies after crediting God for a long life. She was 114 years old. Aaliyah Murphy passed away at the age of 114. Murphy, a committed Christian, openly credited her faith in God as a secret to such a long and healthy life. Well, hey, in my favorite, Psalms 91, he talks about giving you that longevity, that long life, and life more abundantly, right? But that's not in Psalms 91. Wonder why I said Psalms 5. I'm going to go look that up. Oh, give me a second. Anyone know what that says? Trying to find. Yeah. Psalms 5. Lead me to your righteousness. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God, for unto thee I will pray. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning I will direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. But thou art not a God that has pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell in thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leason. The Lord will abhor and bloody and deceitful men. But as for me, I will come into the house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship towards the holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in the righteousness because of mine enemies. Make the way straight before my face. For therefore no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy them not, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against me. But let all these that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Lead them also that love thy name, be joyful in thee. For thou, O Lord, wilt bless the righteous with favor, and thou compassest him with a shield. I'm just telling you, man, anybody who feels, let down, you feel depressed, you feel sad, go to Psalms. I mean, before I became wanting to be Christ-like, throughout my young adult life, I actually, opened up the Bible every now and then, went to Psalms, read Proverbs. But, if you're having a hard time, go to Psalms. Pray. I mean, why not? This also from End Time Headlines. Rick Perry told Trump he is the chosen one, like King David. So Rick Perry, Secretary of Energy, told U.S. President Trump that he is the chosen one, like Kings David, Saul, and Solomon. In August, while discussing the trade war with China, Trump said, somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. His comments received significant backlash at the time from both believers and non-believers. Following this controversy, Perry told Fox and Friends he affirmed to Trump that he is the chosen one. God's used imperfect people all throughout history. That's a fact, Jack. Yep. King David wasn't perfect. We know about that story. Saul wasn't perfect. Solomon wasn't perfect. The greatest wise man that's ever been recorded wasn't perfect. So this is from Sputnik. This is going, we're going to hear about these, like we said before, more and more sightings every day, every week. So keep a close eye out. Supposed to be keep looking up anyway. How we know if Wormwood is going to come or not. So anyways, these wild theories pour in as UFO hunter claims spike in sightings of snake-like objects in the U.S. skies. So over the last month, an elongated, unidentified object. I see the picture here, and it looks more like one of those cigar-shaped objects that people have been talking about for decades. And, if there's any truth to that, I can't say that because our government works in secret and they have projects that they're not going to tell anybody about. Who knows? They could have had these objects. So anyway, these things which reminded some people of a cigarette or a snake has been spotted in several U.S. states, from California to Wyoming and even Scotland. However, there was no explanation of what it was or where it came from. And isn't that always true, right? Nobody knows where it is, where it came from, where it's going, blah, 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 blah. I believe someday you will know. We will know. But in the meantime, why don't the government turn over what they know? Because we might all panic and run in chaos and empty our bank accounts, and then they can't collect all that money from us. And, there goes, we're going to have to shut down our Star Wars program. Yeah, right. They have so much, other avenues for money than worry about our little puny bank accounts. They'd have to worry about that 1%er. So another one is fallen. There's quite a bit of falling away. Megachurch pastor resigns over sex allegations with minors. You know how many times that I could put this story out there? They come in at least, 2 to 6 a week. We can start adding them up if you'd like. Reverend Wes Feltner, lead pastor of preaching and vision at the multi-campus Berean Baptist Church in Burnsville, Minnesota, resigned from his post amid an investigation into allegations from two 35-year-old women who say he manipulated them into sexual relations while they were teenagers 17 years ago. So after much prayer and deep consideration for his family and the mission of Berean Baptist Church, he submitted his resignation. And they're going to try and get on with their lives. I don't know what that means. And I don't know what these 17-year-olds are talking about, manipulated them into sexual relations. What does that mean? Were they forced? Manipulation does not mean forced. In any case, what the heck that means. Did he supply alcohol and they decided to drink until they were drunk? Who knows? Who knows? Gunmen stormed church service, killing at least 14, including pastor and children. So, suspected Muslim extremists launched an attack on a church in eastern Burkina Faso on Sunday morning, killing at least 14 and wounding several others. The attack took place in the village of Hantokora near the border with Niger in the East region. That stuff goes on all the time. All the time there. A lot of that goes on there. That continent. We can give you a headline after headline of that as well. It's happening all the time. And I just looked at this link. I think it's pretty neat. Alaska geological setting. And I'm just going to run it for a second here. But it's all the earthquakes of Alaska from 1918 to 2019. So 101 years. 101 years of, cataloged earthquakes, where they took place, and their magnitudes. Kind of reminds me of that one with the nuke map, with the very first nuke that went off, testing or otherwise, until I think it was 2009. I might have that one somewhere too, so it's pretty interesting. Anyways, so I'll leave that link for you. I'll just let it run for a little bit so you can get an idea of what it does. The year and the date are down there, and all the earthquakes that happened within that period. Very, very interesting. It's going to go for another 12 years. So while I'm trying to get back on track, yeah. So I don't know what that purple one was. Maybe 9. So we're almost to the end anyway. So there you have it. Till November 2019. That was a month ago. There you have it, all of them together. But it goes from the beginning. It goes, it starts off at the very first one. September, November 21. There was a couple of years I didn't see it go off, but anyways. That's pretty neat. I'll leave it in there. You guys can take it if you want. I thought this was an update at first. This one from NWO report. China unveils artificial sun 6 times hotter than our real sun. You remember a couple of years ago? I don't know. Maybe when I was broadcasting under the name of 12 Pine. That was the actual name of the channel. There was, and it could have been here. Could have been, here at PGN, but they were trying to invent, or said that they were going to invent, the sun. And let's just listen to this for 3 minutes. And they'll tell you about what the heck they're doing. This just seems very dangerous. First of all, the earlier one, the one that came out the first time, it was just and they name a town in this video, or province, or whatever you want to call it, where they want this. For some reason, they want constant light there. I mean, first of all, how are you going to get it into the air to shine down without, if it's going to burn 6 times hotter than the sun, how are you going to put it in the atmosphere over us and not burn something? I don't know, what this is. Propaganda, or I don't know. So let me put the volume up in Mixler so that you can hear what the video says, and we'll just play it. Well, actually, we'll play it here. Go.
NWO reports special news update.
The world's first artificial sun, which is first artificial sun, which is capable of reaching 100 million degrees Celsius, is staggering 6 times hotter than our own sun. Using nuclear fusion, scientists hope that the artificial sun will help bring us one step closer to creating unlimited clean energy. Now, the actual name of China's artificial sun is HL2M, which doesn't make it sound all that special. The reactor is located in the Cont province, where it was built to research fusion technology by the China National Nuclear Corporation and the Southwestern Institute of Physics. In reality, it's become so much more and is potentially the future of the world's energy. Now, how does it work? This is essentially a giant nuclear fusion device which basically forces atoms together, which releases heat, which can then be harvested for energy. While the device is being referred to as an artificial sun, it can actually reach temperatures 13 times hotter than the real sun in our solar system. The HL2M will be able to reach 200 million degrees Celsius, 360 million degrees Fahrenheit compared to just 15 million degrees Celsius, or 27 million degrees Fahrenheit of our sun. The resulting energy is not only cheaper, but it is also a lot cleaner than current nuclear options.
All right, I was just thinking about something. Do you remember the prophecy? Man, I don't know if it was in Revelation or Ezekiel, where it talked about 1/3 of the earth burning up. Can you see some type of accident happening from this thing right here and actually burning up 1/3 of the earth? All the green stuff, everything. I mean, this technology, I mean, how can we, if we had the sun, you know, its full strength on us, this earth would just melt, would it not? Or burn up? I don't see how they can go and try and make something 6 times, let alone 16 times or whatever it was, hotter than the sun, and, you know, make it within our earth. I mean, it just, I don't know, sounds like a recipe for disaster to me. I don't know if this is true or not. This is, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna go shut this thing off. So, anyways, that was just an update to their sun idea. I don't know why the first sun that they were talking about was just enough to illuminate some particular city or province. And I don't know why it needed to be illuminated all the time. I don't know. Maybe they're working there all the time and the cost that they something like that. In any case, let's move on. So what is going on in Virginia? This is from shiftplan.com. Tyranny alert. Virginia to outlaw Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, firearms instruction, and self-defense training under proposed law. Yeah, I just noticed that. And the Democrats, yes, they're behind it. Okay, you'll see. Now entirely run by truly insane Democrats who support infanticide and child murder, is proposing a 2020 law known as SB 64. And I think we already opened that up somewhere. And all you have to do is click in the link, in that link, and it'll bring you to the bill. Okay. Which you can read. I'm not going to go into it. Explosive incendiary devices, techniques capable of causing injury to death of persons. Anyways. Yeah, and in the basic form, it says it would criminalize use of firearms training classes, including concealed carry classes. Would even criminalize a father teaching his own son how to use a hunting rifle. Yeah. And I'm telling you, California is not the only, place that they got really Democrats that they're just in another world, on another planet, and they're making laws that just really don't make sense. They're just doing it for the sake of doing it, I guess. Unlawful parliamentary activity. Yeah, anyways, just go read that. They're not the only state. There's a few states out there that are really come up with these crazy laws. This is the one I opened before. I'll leave that in there and give you that link, even though it's in the other one. And I have not heard anything. I don't know why it's not in the mainstream media. At least they haven't been putting it out there. What's going on with these this impeachment trial? So I got 2 updates for you there. Schiff supposedly has only given members 24 hours to review the impeachment report before voting. And the voting will take place apparently tomorrow, Tuesday. So, and the big question here is, what is Schiff in a hurry for? So House Intelligence Committee Democrats are supposed to have their impeachment report furnished by Monday morning, Tuesday, and then it just goes on to show you some tweets about it. That's one thing I don't do. I don't go on Twitter normally and tweet. I have been, but so that's just, don't know why. Big rush. Anyway. Also from Investment Watch. Media now covering up new documents exposing Joe Biden and his collusion with George Soros 2 years ago to line Soros' Ukrainian investment company's pockets. Go figure. And so there are new documents out, okay, and they're right here. They're in PDF format if you want to go read about it. There's proof for you. And why isn't that being taken care of? This guy is still up in the ranks as far as the Democratic nomination for president. Especially after, I mean, the things that he just comes out and speaks about. Something about what he said today really freaked a lot of people out. Talking about, I don't know, the White House pool going skinny dipping and kids wanting to touch the hair on his leg. And, oh, man, I don't know who the heck he thought he was talking to, himself, but everybody heard it. I don't know. And he's in the lead. It just, I don't know. I know that this world is really whacked out, and I think we're just going where no man has gone before, to quote, Star Trek. Habeas corpus. Trump administration uses Patriot Act provision 412 to indefinitely detain man. Okay, folks, that's what the Patriot Act is for. They can come to your house. They can come to my house right now. They can. I'd put up a hell of a fight, probably be killed. But they can come to my house. Just put a bag over my head and drag me out, put me in a cell, and they don't have to tell me why. They don't have to tell me anything. And just put me away in a dark cell forever. That's basically what this Patriot Act and this Homeland Security crap is all about. Doing that, and the Wars Power Act also includes that, where they can go around and if they thought that your house could benefit them somehow to better America, and that's the underlying, factor there, to benefit America, to make them stronger, so that our allies can't come and do whatever they want to do, which they've already been allowed to do. But anyway, yeah, if they thought that this house that I'm living in right now could benefit them, maybe put a post here to watch the rest of the neighborhood, they can come take it. And I thought, one thing about Trump that I didn't like about him is that he's used that eminent domain thing before and taken houses from people who have lived there all their lives. Yeah, get out. And they can do that to create business or, income for the state or town where your house may be at. That's basically what they can do. And you have to abide by it. So anyway, and why they're coming out with this, one man being indefinitely detained. I don't know why. I didn't read it. All I know is that I don't know why they're putting it out there in an article. I'm sure they've got many people detained without question, and that's it. This is, the power that your government has today. Yeah, and while I was searching for that, I mean, people just go here. No, that's not it. Here. Justice.gov. Okay, U.S. Patriot Act, preserving life and liberty for the elite, not for the American people. But here's where it is, and there's another spot too. Where did I put that? But anyway, this is the Patriot Act at justice.gov. You can go look for it. You go to Wikipedia. You can get a link from there to here. So this, Patriot Act allows investigators, this is under the guise of this anyway, to use the tools that were already available to investigate organized crime, drug traffickers, allows law enforcement to use surveillance against more crimes of terror. And folks, they're starting to determine what terror is. It used to be terrorists, meaning fanatics from a religion or another country that don't like us comes over or destroys something over there in the Middle East, something of interest of ours. That's terrorism. That's terrorists. Now they're including American-grown terrorists. Now I do agree that there may be some American terrorist. In any case, gives them many more rights to come and. It was basically made for interagencies to swap information so that there's no red tape, so they can, get the things faster and find these people quicker. But they've like anything else the government has created for themselves. I mean, look, they created 9/11 just to get this Patriot Act. Or they allowed it to happen. Knew it was going to happen, and they were drilling that very same day. We know about those things, don't we? When they're drilling for something, when they're practicing something, it usually happens. This is from Free Thought Project. Cop arrested for pulling over young women for speeding, then raping them. These are the people that are put in place, trained, and they call them cops, they call them worse than that, and they're militarily trained now. And it says in this Patriot Act, let's see if I can find it again, whether it's in here or somewhere else. Yeah, trained to evade detection. No. To conduct investigations, allow federal agents to ask. There's more stuff here, but I read down here somewhere where it gives them law enforcement assistance in monitoring, basically militarizing your police. And we all know that that's been done. And this is why a lot of innocent people are getting killed, because the police are being militarily trained. And they just go out and shoot people. But they're not trained to take prisoners. So anyway, there's a PDF version here for that too. Let's see. I don't know what happened to this cop, but I can't believe that, this cop pulls over these two women and for speeding and threatens them with jail time or whatever. And these women have to do something in order to go free. This is the moral decline of every aspect of our lives. High-ranking officer arrested over 600 counts. This one, former presidential advisor indicted for holding a 14-year-old boy captive. Okay, to do what he wanted to do. Where was this other one? Right here, 600. High-ranking official arrested over 600 counts of child sexual abuse. We all know, according, around this Epstein case and how many people of very high-ranking status in the world, presidents, cabinet members, not only of this country, but other countries, other presidents of other countries, they're all involved in this very dark thing that I guess, I don't know. Maybe they gave their soul to the devil too. Yeah, here's that other story. 600 after they, 600 counts of child sexual abuse. 600 counts. Really? And, we just have a whole lot of people that are growing up, and you wonder why it's dark to them, and people are, the rates of suicide have increased dramatically for a lot of people. America is depressed, and the world is depressed because they see exactly what is happening, that there is no hope in this world when man is running it. When man is in charge, there is always going to be tyranny and wars and rumors of wars and all these vile things, because man he has a sinful nature, period. We talked about that. He has a sinful nature, and he will, commit sins. But of course, there is a rescue from all that. There is hope, but it's not from man. Like I said, man can't give you that. And only your God, only the Lord can give you that. Yeah, to get past your what do you call it? Get past your thoughts that, because I know a lot of people have said that, you can go read the Bible. Like I said earlier, go read, Psalms. There's a lot of hope in Psalms. There's a lot of, but anyways, they won't read the book because man wrote it. But they'll read other books that man wrote and believe them and talk about them like, it's some new thing. I mean, it's just double talk and hypocrisy. There's no reason why you can't. I guarantee you read the Bible. In the beginning, there's going to be some things that are going to stick to you from the Bible. And hopefully, you'll want to go back and open it up and see more. The more you read it, the more you get. Simple to it, just like any other book. But this is a spiritual get, not a physical get. You won't get highs and lows of emotion reading books like novels and people having affairs with other people and, people destroying this people or some serial murderer going around town, and the emotions that they bring. And those are just, they're negative emotions. And second of all, they're just temporary. Spiritual notions, spiritual inspiration, I don't know how you put it. Spiritual period is it's uplifting. There's nothing down about spiritual guidance and spiritual knowledge. I guess I'll say knowledge because that's what the Holy Spirit brings you, knowledge, the truth. And the truth, Jesus says, will set you free. So why not go try, open up the Bible, and see what it does for you? What's it going to cost you? An hour or two of reading? Come on. And if you're at that point where you want to give up, why not try one last thing? I know you're saying to yourself that I've tried everything. I've done everything that I could. No, you haven't. You haven't put your heart and your spirit into the Word. It's the Bible. It's been around for thousands of years. It's the biggest selling book ever. Anyways, besides all that, useless knowledge of, how long it's been around, and I don't know if that's useless or not, but anyways, with that, this news, it's just going to be news to you. It's not going to be depressing. Yeah, it is dark, but when you read the Bible, you get light. Light, basically, the dark comprehends it not, does not understand it. The dark flees. You want light in your life, go read the Bible. If you want darkness in your life, go read about some, adulterous married woman, having an affair with whatever, the whole, college seniority class. Go read that junk. You open those doors, you're going to get exactly what's at those doors. And it's temporary, very temporary. So with that, I also tried to look at this thing again. I told you about this military surplus site, and it's not working properly for me yet. But I'll figure that out. And this is the site or link. Somewhere along here, the link is going to whatever, my last one note page. But that's the one that tells you about your state, your town, what they've got, or what Obama gave them as far as military equipment. These are the values of it. But they didn't pay nothing. It was free. Okay? All these things, rifles, okay? $138. And that was in 2010, 2000, 2001. Ballistic blanket. I don't even know what that means, but anyway. So, I don't know what this is. Let's go. Let's go there. Probably not up there anymore. Probably took it down. I've had it for a while, a couple of years. Anyway, folks, that's it for now. I will be back Wednesday unless something important comes up and I need to come out briefly and report it. In the meantime, be blessed, man. Just lift each other up, pray for each other. Try not to take offense to what others say. I know I take offense. It's usually briefly, and then I get over it. But Jesus told us also, even while you are in offense, you need to forgive your brothers, not just once, twice, but he said 7 times 70. Basically what he was saying was all the time. You're to always forgive. So with that, everyone, keep your loved ones safe. Get numbers and addresses from everyone in case something happens, in case you need to walk across the country in order to find somebody. Good list to have. God bless everyone, and peace out.